now to more breaking news today. Former NFL star Antonio Brown.
Well, former NFL standout Antonio Brown.
Former NFL All-Pro wide receiver Antonio Brown has been arrested on attempted murder charges.
So Antonio Brown is one of those football players who you just wish stayed playing a little bit longer instead of essentially starting the beginning of the end of his life by quitting on his team mid-game. The only thing that could have made this worse is if he took a shit on the field right before going into the locker room. But as you know, Antonio Brown has pretty much went from superstar to having wanted stars, all because the alleged CTE has been eating his brain alive. And what's funny is that some of you are only hearing and seeing about the stuff he does after football. If you're like me and have been watching him throughout his entire career, then you would know things started going downhill after he got that Lego Man haircut. Literally right after that, he was telling former teammates to shut up just for mentioning his name in an interview.
And Antonio Brown quote tweeted it and wrote, as you see, "Never friends, just had to get my ends. Shut up already."
He called the general manager of the Raiders, Mike Mayock, a cracker, leading him to be released before even playing a single game. He was only able to play one game with the Patriots after they released him because of his sexual assault case. He did win the Super Bowl, but we all know that was because of Brady. And then the season after that is when he jogged off the field without a shirt. After that, he filed for bankruptcy, baby! Owing nearly $3 million bajillion to someone, as well as an additional $1.2 million for a previous assault case he had lost. So we went from making millions to literally owing millions. You can't take any step further back than that. But do you think he was going to pay back any of the money he owed? Not unless he had a gun to his head. So instead of paying back anyone, he would turn himself into the influencer nobody wanted, going viral for posting things like Cracker of the Day, DM of the Day, Nigga of the Week, Swallower of the Day, Faggot of the Day, Ass of the Day, and you get the point. Now I should mention that these didn't start off as insults. Like if you go back a year or so, he was giving Cracker of the Day to kids who overcame their illness, telling them happy birthday, congratulating kids who beat cancer. Like getting Cracker of the Day a year ago was something people prayed for. Please God, let me be the white boy of the year. But then as time went on, he just started insulting people. And I'm sure he has people tweeting for him, but they're trying to be exactly like him. It's not like this is how they're making him out to be. They took over his account and were like, let's post exactly like he would. And it's funny because there are certain things that give that away, but it just goes right over people's heads. Like last week, they tweeted out this with the caption, "Faggot of the Day." Now, regardless of what you think about the shorts, calling someone a homophobic slur because you don't like the length of the shorts makes you gay. You worried about what another man's wearing, gay boy? You know who cares about what another man wears? A gay man. Not even that. This picture was edited with AI, and not to mention, it's a fucking college kid. This 40-year-old loser is letting his social media team call teenagers faggots because it's something he would actually do. But because it is in fact not him tweeting, they put out another tweet giving him Cracker of the Day and tagged him like the post calling him a fag isn't still up. And here's the funniest part. This post, 8 million views. This one, not even 2 million. But fast forward to recently, and Antonio Brown is now more of an influencer than he was a football player. What he has done in the short time he has stopped playing football has overshadowed all his past accomplishments. Like, yeah, he was one of the greatest to touch the pigskin, but like, who cares? He's a dirtbag who likes to hit women and neglect his children. The two things you never want to do as an adult male. If you're a kid, just start swinging for the fences. Bam, bam, boom, karate chop, neck trap. But most recently, Antonio Brown seemed like he wanted to be a streamer, or at least like hanging out with them. Like he was hanging out with Adin Ross and Neon, and basically from there, he could have chose who he wanted to hang out with next. Like, yeah, I was just hanging out with Adin, so I guess I'll come on your stream and hang out with you. And you're like, who are you? How'd you get this number? But something else to know before we get into what happened is that Adin Ross has been putting on his own boxing events, trying to build up his boxing company's reputation to at least try and rival KSI's Misfit Boxing. And I'm gonna be honest, it's not even close. Like, you guys remember the short-lived MTV Woody Awards and how it was supposed to be the award show for alternative and underground music? Well, that is basically what Adin Ross boxing events are like, having some of the most random people I have ever heard of boxing for him. I don't even know if these guys are influencers or just people he paid to fight. Like, dog, Chibu and Bwamusa? That sounds like two Pokemon are about to fight. But regardless, Aiden is constantly putting on these events, and it doesn't look like he's going to stop anytime soon. But if you're going to have cards like this, you're gonna need that extra oomph, which is when he starts bringing on celebrity guests. I forget who he had, but he usually has like him and 4 other people on the commentary table just talking all at once. But one of those people he decided to bring out was Antonio Brown, which may have been the worst decision of Antonio Brown's life. So some of you guys may have seen the video of Antonio Brown getting into a fight outside Aiden Ross's boxing event, when all of a sudden you see him trotting over to this side of the event, and then you hear a and then chaos erupts.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Now, he was arrested after the fight just because you don't fire a gun into a crowd of people without getting arrested, and then he obviously bailed himself out and was waiting to see what he was going to be officially charged with other than firing a gun. Knowing that he was going to get in trouble regardless because of his prior cases, he preemptively went to Dubai, knowing that when they inevitably charge him, they can't do anything because he's out of the country. Which is exactly what happened. Shortly after he went to Dubai, they found out that he actually grazed someone when he discharged his gun, and now was being charged with attempted murder. But do you think he cared? Hell no, he was busy announcing faggot of the day. Well, I'd like to start my own tradition, and that is a retard of the day. And because you are the inaugural recipient, we have bumped that up to retard of the year. Let's go, baby! But because he was in the Middle East, there was nothing Florida could do until Mr. Beast made the call and said, hey, listen, you get this fucker out of the Middle East before I open up Beastland, or there's not gonna be a Beastland. And they literally extradited this guy back to the US faster than the towers came down. They didn't even send him to the right state, they did it so fast. His attempted murder charge is out of Miami, and they sent him to New Jersey. They're like, Jersey, Florida, it's the same thing, just get him out of here. Like, even the person who wrote this article was like, we don't even know why they sent him to fucking Jersey. That's punishment alone, send him to Jersey. But I'm assuming he is currently in jail, if not he bailed himself out. But it does say that a second-degree attempted murder charge carries a maximum 15-year prison sentence and up to a $10,000 fine in the event of a conviction. It doesn't say the minimum, but it does say the maximum minimum is 25 years if the gun was discharged during a crime, but that doesn't seem applicable to this situation. It also says he's being held on a $10,000 bond, and I guess I just said it, but it doesn't say anywhere that he has paid that so he can be free. So he's sitting in jail, rotting as we speak. Unless it comes out while I'm editing this that he bailed himself out. But until then, he is still the inaugural recipient of the retard of the year. Also, he does still have someone posting on his Twitter for him, apparently. Like, this was his most recent post. Rest in peace, kings. Prayers. And it's like, don't act like you wouldn't have called him a faggot because his shirt was too tight. It's too late to change now. But, like, this one's even weirder. Like, the post right before that one says, doing our best to carry on the legacy of the GOAT. Anyone interested in joining Team CTESPN? Please shoot me a DM. Must dislike Harry Sisson and Jimmy Kimmel. Dog, you can't post Cracker of the Day by yourself? All they do is post dumbass memes. This is carrying out the legacy of the GOAT? A fucking vagina joke? Like, on the day he was arrested, this is what they decided to post. Obama's favorite book. The Barstool employees who Brown hired to run this account are laughing at him, not with him. But yeah, guys, Antonio Brown is finally feeling the consequences of his dumbass actions, and you can really see how much he's enjoying it from this mugshot. You can tell he definitely wanted to be arrested. It's in the eyes. It's the old arrest me for my attempted murder charge eyes. Trust me, I've seen them, and he has them. Until tomorrow, peace.